Grace Davis here from Platinum Home Mortgage, and today I kind of wanted to share something different with you guys. This is one of the properties that I'm currently renovating, and I wanted to give you a couple of ideas on what you can do with a home, whether you're living in it or whether it's a property that you use to rent out, on how to build more cash flow from the properties that you already have. So let's take a look inside and see what we got. This property has some pretty good bones, existing hardwood floors, everything's functional. It's currently empty, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a couple of finishing touches on it so that we can rent it out to a new family. One of the things that we always want to do is we want to make sure that everything's safe. This particular home, we're working on the foundation, so we're going to be redoing that. And since we're going to be redoing the foundation and it's empty, we wanted to take advantage of that, and we're going to build a second house on the lot. So these are the plans for the property. And what we're doing is we're going to be building a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom property on the back. So we're going to be adding an entire home to this property. So it's currently already a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and we're going to make it basically into a 4-bedroom, 2-bath duplex. So we're going to double what we can rent out the property for, and we're going to do that creatively. There's several ways that we're going to talk about today on how we can achieve that. So once you have your plans approved with a property, you know you're going to be able to do everything with permits. And there's several ways that you can finance all of that. So either it can be from personal savings, or you can look into refinance options so that you can cash out enough to do the project. The biggest word of advice that I would tell you when you're going to take on a project like this is you need to know how much it's going to cost you to build it. So the first step is always having the plans, because you can have an idea on to build, a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but then the city needs to sign off on it. So you need to know that you can actually build on that lot and how much is it going to cost you, and you're going to need the plans to show to your contractor so he can give you a bid on the work. All right, so let's take a look outside. So as you can see, it's a pretty big space. So we could add on something larger. We actually looked into it. We were thinking about maybe a 3-bedroom, but you really want to go with the simplest and most, path of least resistance kind of thing. So what we thought of as a final option is we're going to be building a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and we designed the layout to be, functional with what's already here. You want to leave enough space for parking. You still want to have a little bit of a yard so each person gets some privacy. So let me tell you kind of how we can make that happen. Usually when you own a home already and you've owned it for several years, you have a lot of equity in the property. So the less you owe, the more that you can pull out so that you can reinvest that money into something else. So a lot of people, when they refinance, they have a big purpose with it. Is it, to open a new business? Is it to buy another investment property? You always want to cash out on the home, but make sure you get a return on the money that you're borrowing, because anything that you borrow, of course, you owe. So for example, if this was a house that I lived in, I could cash out the $200,000 that I need to build a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in the back of the house. And you would want to look at, how much is the payment going to be for the money that you're going to borrow against. So doing a refinance would be the easiest way for you not to have to save that money directly, and you could use your equity in order to build the same thing. So if your payment's going to go up, for example, $1,000 because of the $200,000 that you're cashing out on the property, you want to make sure that whatever you're going to rent out this new in-law for is going to return the $1,000 extra that you're paying a month, and also bring you an income of an additional at least $1,000 in order for it to make sense for you to pull out the money to do this investment. Now, as we all know, rents are pretty high in most areas, and living in the Bay Area is one of the things that you're never going to get out of, is paying high rents. So currently, most market rents for this neighborhood go for around $2,300. So that means if my payment's going to go up $1,000, but I'm going to make $2,300 renting out this unit per month, I'm gonna make a $1,300 profit on building this, which is going to in turn repay my investment and then also bring me an additional income. What I normally tell people is you want to make sure you pay back the money that you borrowed first, and that way whenever you're older and you need that cash flow more, you have it free and clear and you can take away, you know, that $200,000 that you cashed out in equity. Now, a lot of people also have savings, you know, so if you can borrow less from your home so you don't owe very much, you know, you can always do half and half. You don't have to necessarily cash out everything from your property. You could use a combination of savings and a combination of refinancing in order to achieve something like this. What I've had a lot of success in doing sometimes as well is we can do what's called a construction loan, because sometimes we need enough, you know, to pay the contractors up front, and we can't wait, you know, to finish the refinance in order to start our project. So a lot of the time renovation financing is for things that are a little bit simpler, like for example remodeling the interior of this property. Let me show you around the interior so we could see what kind of things we could do with the renovation financing in case this is too big of a project. If we want to do something simpler, like finance $30,000 to do our kitchen, we can pull the permits and do what's called a renovation style loan so that you can use that money to pay the contractor, and when we close on the refinance, that person will get a check for half the project so they can start work on the home. Okay, so let's take a look and see. So renovation loans are good for something like a kitchen. If you have a kitchen that's kind of outdated and you just want to start over and do something new and refresh everything, you know, basically put in new countertops, new cabinets, and keep what's already there and just finance for a smaller project, you know, something like $20,000, I would say if you're going to finance anything, you want to do as much as you can to the property within reason. So you would want to do something like a kitchen, and then also maybe put in new floors throughout the whole house to kind of bring it up and make it a little bit more modern. You could also redo a bathroom. So there's a ton of options when it comes to the renovation style financing. You can do bathrooms, you could do kitchens, you could even take a look at some of the exterior and redo some of that. So you can include things like a fresh paint job, add in some of your landscaping costs. Sky's the limit with stuff like that. As you can see, this property needs a lot of work. We're going to be cleaning it up, making it safe, and renting it out to a new person, and then adding that unit in the back so that we can maximize on our investments. So that's pretty much all I had to tell you guys today, but if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We always love to come up with a creative way to get you to your goals. Grace Davis here with